Okay, listen, if you are wanting to start on YouTube, grow on YouTube, whatever on YouTube in 2025, this video is your cheat code. You know how in like video games, they're like cheat code, X, Y, X, yeah. This is that for YouTube growth. Hi, by the way, I'm Jessica. Nice to meet you. If you like creatory things, YouTube tips, and tips on how to make money on the internets, you're gonna love this channel. So hit subscribe. All right, so YouTube is insanely different than it was just a few years ago. I am a bit of a dinosaur on YouTube. I don't know which dinosaur I would be. I feel like I would be a Triceratops Rex. Triceratops Rex? No, just Triceratops with the horn. Yeah, I feel like that would be me. Like, I'm a Triceratops. I don't know. But regardless of what kind of dinosaur, I am a dinosaur in the YouTube space. I have been putting content on this platform for nearly a decade. For 9 years this year. Currently, right now, to succeed on YouTube, the standard is higher. Everybody has the ability, has the tools, has the things to be able to create a channel. So the standard is higher in the content that you create. People expect better quality. And that doesn't mean you have to run out and go buy like a big fancy camera, but they do expect better quality than they did a few years ago. You are competing against people who have the big fancy cameras and who have things that are gonna make their quality look better. So you do have to step it up in this area to really thrive on YouTube. And when we're talking about the standard being higher, it's not just quality, it's also a couple of other things. And one of those things is editing. People expect that your edit is going to be high end. They're no longer okay with these like choppy, like, oh, I just cut out all the ums and uhs and did a bunch of jump cuts kind of editing. That doesn't mean you need flashy editing, but you need cohesive and coherent editing. And people expect that because your competitors are doing that. And a tool that I think is really gonna help you with the quality, but also the quality of editing is the sponsor of this video, and that is Riverside. I have been using Riverside for years to record video interviews, but they also have these really awesome editing tools and even like AI tools built in now that make this like an amazing platform. When we talk about YouTube needing higher quality, let's say you want to do a channel where you're interviewing people. Used to, that was horrendous quality. But now with tools like Riverside, you can record these interviews at 4K and they look just spectacularly amazing. Let's actually go into my Riverside studio and let me show you how easy this stuff is. It's amazing. You can paste in a YouTube link if you want to be able to like get clips or whatever, or you can select a file. You just paste any video link in there and it's going to go in and grab that from YouTube and put it into your Riverside studio. And then from here, you can edit it, you can get clips from it, you can transcribe it, like lots and lots of things. So now I can create a full episode, magic clips, like whatever I want to do in here. So on magic clips, I can just use the settings I want to use here. If there's a certain keyword or something that I want to highlight, I can do that and hit generate clips. And now it's going to clip out social media clips for me to use on social media, which is pretty dang cool. I can also edit the video with a text-based editor, which is one of my favorite ways to edit because you don't have to get lost in the weeds of all this stuff down here. You can literally just say like, oh, I don't want to say blow your mind, blah, 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 right there, and you can just delete it, right? And it'll delete it out of the video. Another really cool feature is once you have some content in here so it knows what your voice sounds like, you can actually make an AI voice. So if I flubbed up something I wanted to say in here and I really don't want to like refilm it, I could put some B-roll over top of it, but I really need to say something. I could do that here, which is pretty cool. And like I said earlier, if you're recording an interview, podcast, or something like that, you can easily record, schedule out, do the things with Riverside. So if you want to try Riverside for free to make your quality better, to make your editing quality better, to help you streamline this process of the things you've got to do with the YouTubes, then head over to the link in my description and use this code to try it out. Now listen, the standard is higher is the section we're under, okay? So when we're talking about the cheat code on YouTube for 2025, we talked about how YouTube is a little bit different. We were in different eras of things. Now we're talking about the standard being higher, and we talked about video quality and we talked about editing quality. But the other piece of the standard being higher is the storytelling. I used to be able to sit in my office and be like, hi, I'm Jessica. Here's what we're gonna talk about today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, peace out, Girl Scout. And those videos would do okay. Now, that is not going to do okay. Number one, it's just spitting information. But number two, people are gonna get bored. And number three, people are going to prefer to watch someone who is better at storytelling than you are if that's the kind of content you're putting out. And when I talk about storytelling, people who wanna do more like educational channels, they get in their feels because they're like, what do you mean? How do I storytell, blah, blah, blah. But this video has storytelling elements built in. It hooked you in the beginning. It is naturally leading us through a process. It is me telling stories about how I've been on YouTube or what I've done on YouTube. It is building in storytelling into an informational video. And I will say that if you need help here, if you're like, wait, I don't quite understand how I'm gonna incorporate storytelling or make these videos like cohesive and fun, I would highly recommend using ChatGPT or some other kind of AI to help you write your scripts or at least bullet point your videos. So if I go into ChatGPT and I'm like, hey, I want to do a video about how MLMs are taking over suburbia and I want to hit these points, can you help me find a storyline that makes sense and lay that out for me? It's gonna do it pretty beautifully. Now, a lot of times I do go in and like correct that or change it or change the order or take things out or whatever, but it's a really, really good starting point. And especially if you're someone who's not naturally inclined to understand storytelling, ChatGPT can really help you out here. One of the reasons that I love YouTube is that it really doesn't change that much or that fast from year to year. So like on Instagram, it changes every 5 minutes. That boy, that man, the CEO man with the glasses, he's always on my feed like, hey, we just added this new thing to Instagram. We just changed the algorithm. And I will say that YouTube really doesn't do that often, but user behavior changes and the kind of content that's being put on the platform changes. And even if YouTube did nothing else to their algorithm, the platform is still going to change at some point. Like back 20 years ago, people went to YouTube to watch funny cat videos. And now they're here to like learn how to run a business or follow people around New York City. So when I say that YouTube is different than a few years ago, I really actually mean that we are different than we were a few years ago. And because user behavior is different, YouTube has to be a little bit different. So the tips that maybe I would have shared a couple years ago or 3 or 4 years ago may not be the same tips that I would share now, because we're in an era where subscribers don't matter. It's all about viewers. And I think TikTok kind of started this because TikTok's like For You page couldn't care less who you follow. It's more about what you want to watch. And YouTube has always done that too on their home page and things like that. But I think viewers care more now about what they want to watch, not who they're subscribed to and not how many subscribers that person has. If somebody wants to watch a video about day in the life of a Bernedoodle, my dog's outside. I just saw him run across the yard. That's where that came from. But if somebody wants to watch a YouTube video about that and the channel only has 20 subscribers, but the video has a ton of views, they're not gonna care. They're gonna be like, oh, this must be a good video, regardless of how many subscribers the person has. Plus, a lot of the watch time is going to, and is already starting to be, more from non-subscribers than subscribers. A lot of people just don't subscribe. They know that if they're watching the channel, they're gonna continue to be fed content from that channel. In addition to all of that, and because of all of that, brands look more at the average views per video than they do your subscribers. And AdSense is also based more off average views per video than it is subscribers. So we're just in an era where subscribers don't matter like they used to. We're also in an era where information only channels, channels without personality that are only spitting information, are going to be left in the dust. Creators who are only giving you information, who don't share their personality with you, but also who don't create a community around the people who are like they're watching, they're going to be left in the dust because AI is going to swoop in and take them over. I've talked about this in several videos, but essentially we are at the point where if I wanted to create a video about something that was very like surface level information, so like how to start an email list, okay? I could easily go to ChatGPT and be like, hey, I'm gonna do a video about how to start an email list. Can you write a realistic script that starts with a good hook and integrates this information and leaves with an outro to help me with this video? And I go in and I tell it what kind of like tone of voice, like, oh, I want it to be fun and like blah, blah, blah. And ChatGPT will spit me out a script like that, like literally. And then I can take that script and feed it into a like AI video maker platform where I can say, hey, use an AI voice and a bunch of images to make this video, or even a fake person, because a lot of technologies have this ability now. I could even train an AI model to make an AI me so that it looked like me, but feed that script in, have it just create the voice, the images, the person, like whatever I want it to do, put that information on YouTube, SEO keyword the shit out of it, and get a ton of views. Like, that's easy. And that's a hell of a lot easier than me scripting out videos, sitting down to film them, and whatever else. But here's the thing, the information is the same. If I am just telling you how to start an email list, you probably don't care like who's telling you this information. You're probably like, oh, I just need to know how to start an email list, or how do I do this thing on ConvertKit, or how do I do this thing on YouTube? It's gonna be really, really easy for basic information YouTubers to be taken over by AI. So those channels are not going to work, and they're already starting to not work. So where 2 or 3 years ago, if you wanted to start a channel to help your business or to sell something, you could easily just spit a bunch of information and do the thing. That is not a thing anymore. You have to add personality and community to your YouTube channel. That's the era we're in. And then in addition to both, like, hey, subscribers don't matter, it's all about the viewer, and don't just spit information, we're also in the era of the niche being the who, not the what. So a few years ago, and honestly 8 years ago when I started, if you wanted to grow really fast on YouTube, you would only talk about one thing. You would be like, I'm only gonna talk about this DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And I'm only gonna share tips and tricks about that. And does that still work a little bit? Yeah, it sure does. Those kind of channels may have a heyday for a few minutes, and then they're gonna die, because the niche is not in the what, it's in the who. So that gives you as a creator a lot more freedom to create content, because you're not just having to talk about one thing all the time. You're literally thinking about who is watching your content, not what you're talking about. So on my new channel that I'm creating, I'm going on like internet rants, and it's fun and informative and like investigative journalism-ish. And I'm having a ton of fun with that channel. And the who behind that are going to be people who love to learn about these types of things. A lot of people don't like to learn. A lot of people don't like to know new things. A lot of people aren't fascinated by like why Mormons don't drink coffee, or how MLMs infiltrated suburbia, you know? But the people who are my who. The who are the people who have an interest in these kind of like niche topics. So instead of just going in and being like, I only talk about MLMs, I'm an anti-MLM channel, which used to be the niche. Now I'm an investigative journalism channel. I'm a commentary channel that has to do with culture and marketing and things like that, so that the people who are interested in those types of things can watch all of my videos. So we're in an era where the niche is the who, not the what. The next little piece of this cheat code is that finding your USP is insanely important. And USP is essentially unique selling proposition. And what you're selling here is you and your channel and the videos that you put out, okay? So how are you unique? What makes you unique? What makes someone want to watch you versus the other person who probably has a video about the same thing? What makes someone want to watch your channel versus this other channel? How can you stand out? Sometimes it's us. Sometimes it's our personality or our accent or the way we, talk or like whatever, right? Sometimes it's the way we edit. Sometimes it's the way we tell stories. Sometimes it is the way that we beautifully put things together and are able to keep people's attention. Sometimes it's the angle that we talk about things about. But find what makes you unique and what makes you stand out. Because right now, all of the niches you can think of, all of the things that people could create a YouTube channel about, people could create videos about, have been done. So how can you go up against people who've been here for 5 years doing the same kind of content you want to create? What is unique about you? If you don't do this, like if you are like, oh, I'm just gonna go and like not figure out what makes me unique or the things I want to kind of highlight that make me unique, you are not going to be able to grow on the platform, because there will be nothing there to make people want to watch you versus the other person. If you look at somebody like Katie Seckley and compare her to somebody like Millie, and then compare both of them to somebody like me, a lot of times we are talking about a lot of the same things, but I come from a different perspective. I have a different background. I have a different accent, the way I talk, the way I present information than Millie does. Millie has all of those things different than Katie does, and we all have all of those things different from each other. So while you may enjoy content from Katie and Millie and myself, we're going to provide content in different ways enough to where watching even a similar piece of content from all three of us is still going to get you different information and different presentation. So for like my new channel, I actually don't find that there's a ton of channels out there doing what I want to do. I want to do a mix of like really fun journalistic pieces a la Johnny Harris and commentary like Tiffany Ferg about things that I care about. And so, yeah, Tiffany might talk about culture on the internet and Johnny doesn't, but Tiffany doesn't have the same like fast-paced, fun video editing style, even though it works great for her. That's amazing for her. And then on the contrary to that, Johnny has these like, you know, fast-paced, fun videos to watch, but doesn't provide a lot of commentary and isn't really talking about a lot of like cultural things in the same way that I want to. He's talking a lot about, you know, foreign policy and borders and things like that that I couldn't care less about, you know? So what is gonna make me stand out is that I want to have these investigative journalism types of content with a cultural funness, you know, about topics that not a lot of people are talking about. Plus, the fact that I'm me is a USP. Didn't mean to rhyme, but I do it every time. I'm done. It was just fun. Okay, really, I'm done. Okay, there's 2 pieces left of this cheat code. There's 2 little puzzle pieces we've got to fit back in. And then you'll have the whole cheat code, okay? New channels have an advantage. YouTube is telling us that new channels have an advantage right now. So if you are a new channel, hit the ground running. Use everything you've learned in this video to do it, to do the thing. So like put the content that you want out into the world, because odds are you are going to be able to grow faster right now than I was when I was a new channel, or than I am as an old channel. So my channel is, again, almost a decade old, and it has ebbed and flowed. It has had points where it's doing really well and then points where I suck, you know? And so for me to just skyrocket right now is less of a chance because I'm an established channel than for you to start a new channel and put content out, really good content from the beginning, and grow. Okay, so new channels have an advantage. So if you are brand new, yay, you're doing something right. If you have started in the past, if you had a channel, maybe you got to like 100 subscribers and you were like, I'm not doing this anymore, and it's sat there for 2 years, or you got to 20,000 subscribers and you're like, I'm not doing this anymore, and it sat there a few years, and you're thinking about picking back up with that channel and or picking back up with a different topic, start a new channel. New channels have an advantage right now. Oh, I thought of another thing. So there's actually now 2 more pieces to the cheat code. So reverse that puzzle. We found an extra piece in the carpet, so we gotta put it in there. And the thing that I forgot that I wanna put in here is that longer content is winning. People want to sit down and turn on their TV and watch content. They wanna be able to watch a 15-minute plus video. And I would even go as far as saying 20-minute plus video, because we are seeing from the reports from YouTube that people want to watch on their TV more, that people love to watch longer content. Not only do they enjoy it, but the longer the content is, the more watch time hours you have, the quicker you get to monetization, the more ads you can have, the more engagement you're gonna have. Everything about longer content is a winning game. So instead of 8-minute pieces of content, try for 15. Instead of 15, try for 20. Now, I don't mean to extend a video that has no business being 20 minutes to 20 minutes if it really only needed to be 10, but longer content is winning. That is where we are right now in this cheat code. And then really the last piece this time is that you need to be a student of the platform. I heard someone recently on a podcast say, you know, I just don't watch a lot of YouTube, but they were trying to be a YouTuber. No, absolutely not. You need to be a student of the platform. You need to know how the algorithm works. You need to know how user behavior works. You need to know how these analytics fit into your process. You need to know what thumbnails are going to do best. You need to know what structure of the video is going to do best. You need to know all the things you can know about YouTube to be successful. You need to know the editing things that work best. You need to know all of these things to be successful. Now, I actually have some like YouTube helper thingy-majiggers in my creator Kickstart, which I'll link below, which is like $47, and it has a ton of like YouTube advice, brand deal advice, affiliate marketing advice, editing help, things like that. So I'll link it below. But you have got to become a student of the platform. If you are not learning as much as you possibly can about YouTube, and you are not applying what you learn to your next video and to the next video and to the next video, you are not going to grow on the platform. If you're just putting out content and not studying that content and being like, why are people dropping off 2 minutes in? How can I fix that? Or why did people not click on this video as much as they clicked on that one? Maybe the thumbnail plays into that. Why did that title do better than this title? If you are not becoming a student of the platform, you're not gonna grow like other people will. So that's your cheat code. That's it. Understand that YouTube is different than it was a few years ago. Understand that your standard has to be higher. Your quality, your storytelling, your editing has to be higher. Understand that you need to make your channel and your content unique. Understand that new channels have an advantage and that longer content does too. And become a student of the platform. That is how you're gonna win and grow that channel in 2025. Now, if you wanna try out Riverside to like help you do all of this, don't forget, you can try it out for free with the link and the code in my description. And obviously, if you wanna grow on YouTube, these videos are gonna help you do that too. So go take a peek-see at one of these to continue your knowledge, because remember, we've gotta be a student of the platform, and this is a great place to do it. Bye, y'all.